listen, in terms of all impressive performances, let's hit Jordan Love here. You just got to sit here and wonder, Kurt, when he's sitting there waiting for Rodgers to be done with his job, essentially, right? I mean, it's just one way to put it, right? Mm-hmm. Waiting for his shot, waiting for the time where they were going to turn to him. He had to think to himself, at some point, I'm going to start here. At some point, Rodgers is going to go somewhere and still be the Hall of Fame Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to maybe play against him. I'm going to be on the same field as him. And for him to have that opportunity on Sunday Night Football and come up with a 360-yard, 3-touchdown, no-interception performance that included 20 straight completions to make him, as he was just named 20 minutes ago, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. What a dream come true for him, right? Honestly.
No doubt about it. And I tell you what was most impressive to me was the way that he played that game. You know, if there's been one thing that we talked about with Jordan Love, I talked about it with him, you know, on our sit down on game day morning, just about the gunslinger mentality, is that he's kind of got that gunslinger mentality. Like, I can make the big throw and I can make the big play. And there's been stretches in his career where he's tried to do that and force some balls and thrown some interceptions. And so here he is on the biggest stage, you know, in this moment, like you're talking about, you know, wanting to show everybody, hey, you know, Packers made the right decision at that time to go with me, all of that stuff. And I thought he played so well with it. I mean, there were even times in this game where I thought, man, why didn't he push that down the field? You know, like, I thought he had an opportunity, yet he was playing a very intelligent, smart football game. He didn't let the hype and he didn't let all of this, I got to outperform Aaron Rodgers and I got to show people on a big stage, you know, all of that stuff. It was, no, I just need to go out and play the perfect game for my team. And he was taking checkdowns and taking the shorter throws and not forcing things down the field for the most part. And so I was just really impressed with the maturity on that side of it. Because I've been in those situations where you want to go out and you want to throw for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns and you want to do it in wow fashion and you want to make big play after big play and you can get outside yourself at times. And I thought he handled that game perfectly, made the throws he was supposed to make, didn't put the ball in harm's way, didn't try to do too much. And in doing that, he shined brighter than anybody else on the field.
And then in terms of Rodgers, I mean, we established on NFL Game Day morning this Sunday, you know, for those who missed it, you, Kurt, were showing some wow throws from Rodgers that looked like he's turning back the clock. And he's also moving out of the pocket in those same ways. That said, just struggling in the red zone, the high red zone. Yeah. And what ails the Steelers offense right now, Kurt?
I mean, what ails them for me is playing on schedule and on time. And, you know, whether that's just looking at the weapons in the offense and being able to create some easy opportunities within structure and within their scheme. I think Aaron continues to be a little uncomfortable in the pocket. You know, what I showed on Sunday was a couple of those big throws from inside the pocket that I hadn't seen earlier in the year. And it was kind of like, man, you're hoping that maybe he's getting more comfortable with his guys and in this offense, so he's more comfortable in the pocket. But I think there's some missed opportunities on schedule. I think there's some lack of opportunities on schedule. And so a lot is falling on Aaron to have to be more creative or, you know, forcing him to be more impatient in the pocket and wanting to get out of the pocket, and where he's been really good, whether it's the design naked bootlegs or whether it's him creating on the out of the pocket. He's been really good in that facet. I just think they have to get better on schedule. That's Aaron starting, you know, being comfortable and making some of those reads and throws, and it's scheme wise and it's player wise creating some opportunities on schedule, because it's just, I don't care who you are, doesn't matter what player you are, trying to live in an off schedule world in the NFL does not work very often. They can work 3 or 4 times a game and it can be great, but it is hard for it to work for 60, 65 snaps a game for 60 minutes. So they've got to get better on schedule in their passing game.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.
Steelers Nation, sit tight because we're entering a pivotal stretch for this team. This is one of those windows where decisions matter, urgency matters, and every move counts. The Steelers are actively in the trade market, prepared to be buyers before November 4. That's no small statement for a franchise built on identity and long-term planning. We've seen the noise, 2 straight losses, questions on both sides of the ball, in a sense that the margin for error is shrinking. Now comes the moment to strike. Enter Jakobi Meyers. The Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver has been linked to Pittsburgh for some time. Reports say that Meyers clearly wants out of Vegas, and that the Steelers are keeping tabs on him and could be the most likely destination. Think about that for a second. A receiver with proven reliability behind a star like DK Metcalf could reshape the offense. He represents more than catches or yards. He represents a signal that Pittsburgh is attacking its problem areas. Why does this matter so much? Because aside from Metcalf, the Steelers haven't had a true, consistent second option at receiver this season. Without that, defenses load up on Metcalf, force counters, and make the offense one-dimensional. The article says that having a more consistent option at wide receiver behind Metcalf would be huge for the Steelers. Meyers fits that description. He's not just a body. He's a player who can hold a defense's attention, open up the field, and, by extension, help the younger receivers like Roman Wilson blossom because he frees up space. That's the kind of ripple effect the Steelers need. But let's not sugarcoat. This isn't just about receiver depth. It's about momentum, identity, and belief. The Steelers are at a crossroads where they can either stay reactive, talk about what they're going to do, or proactive, make a bold move, change the narrative. And when you make a move like chasing Meyers, you shift the narrative from "we're trying to fix" to "we're upgrading." One insider even predicted the Steelers as the likeliest destination for Meyers among all teams. That kind of talk matters because it communicates commitment. What would Meyers bring? He brings dependable hands, route-running intelligence, and the capacity to complement Metcalf rather than duplicate him. He brings a stabilizing force and a veteran presence in the receiver room. For Aaron Rodgers, having another trustworthy option means the offense doesn't stall. It means third downs become manageable. It means defenses can't just zero in on one guy and dare the rest to prove they matter. In a league of matchups, that's gold. Now, to the other side, because this is about balance, the Steelers also must continue to fix their defense. We've talked about their receiver plans, but make no mistake, this team's challenge is holistic. If you stack one side of the ball and ignore the other, you're half doing it. The fact that the Steelers are exploring receivers and monitoring defensive help tells you they're thinking big. The article notes that Pittsburgh is already making calls around the league. It's not passive watching, it's active trading. Here's my advantage. If the Steelers land Meyers, it won't guarantee wins overnight, but it will guarantee a statement. It will guarantee improved structure, improved options, and improved juice around this offense. The ceiling suddenly becomes higher. Opponents have to respect 2 receivers instead of 1. That frees up Metcalf. That opens up Wilson. That forces defenses into uncomfortable coverages. And when Rodgers has multiple trustworthy weapons, the offense becomes harder to stop. For you, the fan, that means get excited. Not just hopeful, but expectant. Because this franchise is moving. Because the front office and coaches are showing willingness to invest and upgrade. Because the standard still stands. The Steelers built on resilience, on response, on legacy. This isn't about chasing youth or trendiness. It's about finding pieces that fit the DNA of the franchise and deliver now. Meyers is exactly that kind of piece. So let's anchor this in optimism. The next few weeks could define the trajectory of this season. If the Steelers move for Meyers, if they pair him with Metcalf, if Rodgers stays clean and the defense steadies, we can be looking at a team that climbs. We could be looking at a Steelers squad that reminds everyone why this city matters, why this fan base bleeds black and gold, why the terrible towel waves with pride. The opportunity is here, the willingness is there, the expectation should be too. Now, I want to hear from you. Yep, you at home in your Steelers gear and ready for the ride. Do you believe the Steelers will land Jakobi Meyers? What kind of receiver do you want at it? Possession receiver? Vertical threat? Hybrid? How much do you trust Rodgers to thrive if he has two reliable weapons? Drop your answers in the comments. Smash that like button if you believe the Steelers aren't done yet. Hit subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire if you ride with this team through thick and thin. If you believe the comeback is already in motion, let's keep the standard alive, let's keep the faith high, and let's go get it done.